alcohol. That's the way I would compare it. It sounds like most of the countries who go to COP agree that there is a problem. But it also seems not everybody wants to pay the price that comes with fixing that problem. I mean, this is an age-old situation, isn't it? How do you convince the most powerful and therefore the richest nations in the world to pay the most? Because it's not like you can force them to do that.
Here, Neil, there is the argument actually lies on who emitted and by how much, and who is currently emitted and expected to lead the emissions over the next few decades. If you look at the level of emissions currently in the atmosphere, it started with the coal revolution and the steam engine, the industrial revolution that was led in the West pretty much since the 19th century. First, that adds up to the climate finance deal that amounts to something like $1 trillion, and where that finance is going to come from. Of course, I believe here everyone has to commit, but I don't think, well, what I see actually is that the currently developing countries would want to achieve their climate or development targets while still giving or taking their fair share of the climate finance, but also you would need to take into account that the historical level of emissions that was made for more than 100 past is when you see and kind of a into that particular negotiations, and these arguments will amount or will take the negotiations into, for example, colonialism, as what we heard that the president of Azerbaijan accusing France of colonialism in Africa, and every country will throw accusation on the other. I believe definitely that will take the negotiations nowhere that is sustainable. So I believe here one important aspect is that everyone has to be on the table, whether it's the fossil industry, whether it's the renewable industry, all countries, because it's 200 countries that unanimously have to agree on any deal that to be made. And many of these countries will be oil producers. So the energy security part also needs to be part of it. And I believe this is can be a sensitive issue, because as I can see is that the renewable industry is trying to push their interest. The fossil industry is trying to push their interest by having more deals. And I believe this is very unsustainable. We need a pragmatic solution. We need a clear roadmap, and a roadmap that keeps energy secure and energy affordable, and it still achieve our 1.5 degrees Celsius. The bad news is that if emissions do not fall by 42% by 2030, then it means that that target wouldn't be achievable anymore. And then I believe we are at a very turning point at this COP.
Really appreciate your views there. YAlshammari from the London College of Energy Economics. Thank you. Okay, while we're talking about